crowd, the students, the former students, the community. Incredible atmosphere, electric. And just like what's transpired over the previous 9 games at home, to go undefeated, you're a big part of it. And not me, I'm just speaking for everybody in the program. We're very grateful.
Good questions?
Buzz, you've said several times this season that your guys just don't flinch, but they kind of took it to another level today in the last 4 minutes, didn't it?
Well, that started with there's only 3 signs in the building. One of them is "Fight in the Middle of the Ring." It was a quote shirt from year number 1. It was an ex-con that I became friends with that he learned how to read when he was in prison. And so he started studying Muhammad Ali. And as I got to know him, he taught me that Muhammad Ali never blinked. So I started researching all of this, and he was helping me, and I was reading, I was watching YouTube, and how no matter what was going on, Muhammad Ali would never blink, even when he was getting hit, and how he learned to fight in the middle of the ring. And I think when you're in the fights that we've been in, Olin, over the last 9 weeks, your ability to not flinch just improves. Because each game, I think Florida was the first game at Florida to play in 18 games like we've played in. In the figurative fights, they've learned not to flinch. And I think their ability not to flinch is just, there's example after example after example. Not a player, multiple players, just who's the best player? Don't know. Depends on the day. Who's the best team? Our team has improved with each passing game. And I think today was another example.
What you talk about just, I mean, obviously you guys did a great job, and especially at the foul line, but
Travis, do you see?
Mm-hmm. 10 for 10.
But you almost come to expect in a game like a close game that Anderson Garcia is going to make a big play. And he made a big one today.
It just makes winning play after winning play after winning play. And they never show up in the stats, you know? He just has incredible instincts. Solo steal when they run horns. And Jew and Henry at that point were zeros. No rebounds, no points. Solo gets that steal, and then whatever it was, 2 possessions later to ice the game. And he gets that steal after they had possession. Just winning plays.
More so than maybe some of the other games, seemed like y'all were doing pick and roll with Boots and both Julius and Anderson.
Yeah.
What was it about the look that came into play a little bit more and found a lot of success with it?
We could play them again, so I want to answer the question the right way, but it was for sure part of our offensive plan in what kind of screen, who set the screen, and what we were doing on the weak side of that screen. And obviously we do it a lot with 4. And to close down the game, we were kind of going back and forth with 4 and with Boots and with whichever forward. And I thought even on the shot clock violation turnover, all of that was good. I know we didn't get a shot, but it wasn't a live ball turnover, and it wasn't a forced shot, and it was all a part of the prep plan regarding that pick and roll situation.
And you talk a lot about the guys who do stuff not on the stat sheet. Dexter Dennis, late in the game, they were just right on both Boots and Wade, and the calmness to kind of be able to get things under control. How key was that late? And
yeah, his if he had a choice of what he wants to do, dribbling's not one of them. But they were face guarding Boots in 4. And personally, I don't know their coaches and I don't know their players, but I think it was an early protection against what we were doing on the other end. And our counter obviously forces Dex to become a primary ball handler. And I thought we managed those possessions at the beginning the right way. And eventually, whether Boots or Ford got it back, Dex did a really good job with everybody being on the same page. When you get to your third option of something and your third option starts at the beginning of the possession, to be able to have that maturity and that comfort, I thought that was really good. Not just Dex, all 5 guys.
Buzz, do you allow yourself to even consider what this does for your NCAA tournament seeding possibilities?
I might look at it. Coach Gapp has done a great job of being my number source. My wife is a lot smarter than I am. She's pretty aware of it. On occasion, over the last couple of weeks, I've asked him a question or two, but I haven't wanted my heart to be full of anxiousness on things that I can't control. I know we don't know who we're playing on Friday, but I'll probably listen to it a little bit more over the next couple of days. I think the one thing, Olin, that I wanted to be accountable for is 6-5 at Christmas with 2 quad 4 losses and left for dead. The burden that our guys and our staff have carried over the last 60 days, I didn't want to not do my part, whatever my part was that particular day. And I didn't think that filling my brain with social media or what Joe Lenardi was saying, I wasn't trying to be a jerk to you that day. Like, I don't want that to infect me, because I don't want it to infect our group. And that's the most conference wins in 100 years. We've lost 3 road games. We beat the number 2 team in the net. We beat the number 3 team in the net. It's the highest achieving win in the history of Reed as far as the numbers go, according to Brad. So, yeah, the regular season's over. And so, yeah, I would like to understand it a little bit better. But I'm also excited about the new season.
With Dexter, when did you guys know that he was going to play, and with the job that he did on Brandon, holding him 723? I know he wasn't the only guy guarding Brandon today.
Yeah, I thought Lyle's plan and the pick and roll stuff that Travis was talking about, I thought Devin's plan and how we handled 24, multiple guys guarding him. They have so many guys that can score. They're so talented. Dexter didn't do anything. We were off on Wednesday. He had a heavy day of rehab. Thursday, he didn't participate. And then Friday, I met with you guys, and we were going to see how he went. He shot with me Friday morning. He was fine, but that's not like real work. And then he did it real work yesterday, just not the entire time. And then we got him out a little earlier than we normally do in the first half, relative to his regular roster, our rotation, just to kind of see how he was. And I think the atmosphere was part of it. I think that it was his last home game as a college player was part of it. He's an NBA defender. He's an NBA wing rebounder. I don't know how many he had. Yeah, I mean, he had 7 defensive rebounds in 32 minutes. We count on him.
With Wade, you've talked about his high risk, high reward thing. He had a couple of those turnovers, but then
he had the one turnover after visibly, verbally saying timeout 4 times.
Yeah. With him coming on there at the end, do you almost expect that to happen where there's a negative play for him, he's going to bounce back and have that kind of magic?
Yeah, that's arguably his best trait. And obviously we've been very dependent upon it, particularly in the month of February, and it looks like March is trending in that direction. I think he's the second leading scorer in the league, next to 24, in league competition only. He's been phenomenal.
Buzz, back in like '06, it was rowdy and crazy. What would you attribute the crowd being more, almost like basketball knowledgeable? You know, still rowdy and crazy, but also it seems like more knowledgeable in terms of basketball around here.
Yeah, that's a good question. In '06, I was 32, and I was just as unknowledgeable as the crowd. I do think, Britt, maybe a little bit has transpired even in the last 2 months. Like they've been a part of Auburn here. They've been a part of Tennessee here. They've been a part of this game here. They've been a part of Arkansas here. Like you, whether you know what's going on or not, you're getting reps of, wow, this is hard. And that's not good. And we need that. And you can, I don't really, it's not like I'm as engaged as I should be probably with the crowd, but you can tell their knowledge is picking up. But what would be the difference from 17 years ago to now? I don't know.
I think it might be social media, maybe.
Maybe. Yeah, that could, yeah, I would say that's for sure a part of it. Everybody's talking a little bit more about what's going on. Yeah, that's probably right.
Buzz, with a little more than 3 minutes left, you put Solo in with Andy up front.
They've been so good.
And
Henry and Jew were zeros.
yeah, and both those guys made plays. What did you see? Was it just the speed, or
I thought the thing that was killing us was Alabama on the offensive glass. We were not finishing. I don't know how many turkeys we finished with. We held them to 0.84 points per possession. They're the fastest team in the SEC. They're the second fastest team in Division I. 50% of their shots are from three. 36% of their shots are at the rim. That was what they were averaging coming in tonight. 86% of their shots or threes are at the rim, and 45% of their shots are in the first 12 seconds. And coming into tonight, today, they were shooting 30 shots from three, making 10. That's 20 long rebounds. And tonight, they missed 29. And that ball is flying all over the place. It's happening fast. And we were not finishing with defensive rebounds. The one defensive rebound Henry got was in the last minute or two of the game. I know the one offensive rebound that he got was in the last minute or two of the game. So we played 42 minutes with our two starting forwards getting 2 rebounds in the last 2 minutes. I just thought Solo and Andy had a much better presence on the glass, and I thought we had to be able to finish, particularly after that. It's 54-54 at the last media timeout. 3:47, I think, the play is last media timeout. It's 54-54. One turkey wins it. You have to finish with a rebound. So that's why we played those guys more.
I know a lot of teams on senior night honor their staff, but especially I know with your background, not many managers get videos and their name on the court and whatever. Why was that important to you beyond maybe the obvious?
Well, everybody has ownership in what we're doing. The coaches that are not allowed to coach have responsibility and have ownership. The players that are not playing have responsibility. They have ownership. The student trainers, the student managers. I think that's why all of this is so special, is the respect that we all have for one another and the genuine love and affection that we all have for one another. And I just think that it's so rare, Travis, in 2023 to have enough humility to go, you're better at this than I am, so you're in charge. And I'm going to try to help you, but you're the head coach. Coach Jack is how he's called in our program, and he's in charge of equipment. And if anybody, the best player or a coach, tries to do something that is not in line with him, it doesn't work. He's the most beloved student in the whole group. And Dexter didn't want to do a senior night before the game because we've become almost like an occult in our rituals on everything we do. And I meet with some of those guys once a week. And if I try to alter something, it's like moving heaven and earth to get them off. No, coach, we didn't do this. You didn't say that. And so he was like, I'm not doing it. Okay, well, I'll go tell Luke and Landry you're not doing it, but I don't know what the solution is. And just didn't want to alter what we were doing in pregame. But to honor Coach Jack, very deserving.
Time for a couple more TV questions.
Yeah, Coach, you were able to shut the door on a Bama team that we've seen them not and kind of come back and be able to grind out some wins. So what does that do for you guys headed into next week from a confidence standpoint?
Well, I mean, they won the league. They have the highest winning percentage coming into today of any Power 5 team in conference play. In truth, I think our guys were receptive to the plan of the coaches, but I think our guys were wanting to win for one another. I think they were wanting to win to cap off a 9-0 home record in conference play. I think they were wanting to win their 15th conference game for the first time in 100 years. Yes, they're really good. Good enough to win the national championship. I would say they are for sure a number one seed, maybe the number one seed. You'd have to talk to Dr. Joseph. But the spirit of our group and the intensity and the focus of our group was on us. And so in a very pure way, I think we were aware of the opponent, but we were trying to be the best we could be.
Coach, another career night for Wade. We know what that one Tennessee player said to him, and we saw what he did that game. This game, talking with 24 pretty much the whole game and closing the thing out. Is Wade a guy that you probably shouldn't talk trash to during a game? And then in your opinion, should be the player of the year?
Anything that has to do with votes, Texas A&M is probably not going to be very successful. And on the talking, I don't know. I talk to Four a lot, so I trust him. But on the other stuff, I'm not sure.
Anything else? Okay, that's a wrap.
Thank you, guys.